What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Purpose Money Master Course. How you doing? I hope you're doing great. Congratulations for finishing step number 1. Now we are in step number 2. I hope you're learning something so far. We had to lay a foundation on step number 1 about earning income, because if you don't have an income, you're not gonna be able to build anything. We're talking about building your financial house, and income is crucial. So depending on where you are, that was foundational, and you needed to evaluate yourself. And even if you already have a steady income coming in, you may want to go and improve and get better and get more income coming, whether it's through your job, your career, your vocation, your calling, or your business as a self-employed person, or even if you own a business system, you want to improve on those and make sure you're doing better. And if you own a business, by the way, one of the things we do at Purpose Money is business consulting. We can consult you and we can help you to take your business to another level, but that's something different. Today though, in this chapter 2, we're going to talk about step 2 of what you need to do as you continue to build your financial house, as you continue to build your wealth. Remember, these are practical things that we're giving you that you need to do. This is not hype. This is not get rich quick scheme. This is practical professional things we're teaching you so you can be able to change your life for good and for the better. The step number 2, it says live below your means. Live below your means. That's very important. And I hope you're taking notes. It's very important that you be writing these things down. Just write down, live below your means. What do I mean by that? You know, I've learned that there's no such a thing as enough money. If you get $1,000 for the first time, you may feel like that's a lot of money, but you know, after a little bit, that's nothing. If you have $10,000, for a little bit you feel great, you think you have good money, but after a while you feel like that's nothing. It's the same with 100,000, a million, 10 million, or millions. There's no such a thing as enough money. But what I want to share with you here is something that's very important: contentment. You have to be content as you continue to grow in your financial journey. You have to be okay, because there's not going to be enough money in your life. We just get the money that we need to fulfill our purpose and our goals in life. So you have to learn to be content, because if you're not content, you will not be able to build your financial house. So when we talk about living below your means, contentment is enough. It's going to help you to streamline and spend your money wisely. Because if you're not content, you're going to be tempted to want to do things extravagantly with the money that you don't have. So with that, I want to give you an illustration here of 2 people. The first one is Mary. Mary makes $3,000 per month. And also, that is her money, that she takes home $3,000 every month. Her monthly expenses are $2,300, and that means Mary saves $700 every month. Good job, Mary. Another person is Josiah. And I'm giving the illustration of Josiah too because he makes more money than Mary. Josiah makes $5,000 every month. This is his take-home money. 5,000. The difference of 2,000 compared to what Mary makes. Now, Josiah, however, has chosen to live at a neighborhood where it's a little bit fancier, the homes, the houses there, and he has to keep up with the neighbors, so he drives a little bit fancier car, and he has membership to these clubs and places where he has to go because he needs to fit in with the environment. And with that kind of a life, also he has to be shopping in certain places and to maintain his status and his level of income, which is a little bit better than Mary's. At the end of the month, though, Josiah has a deficit of $150. He spends every month $5,150. $150 more than what he earns. So let me ask you, from the outside, who looks more successful, Mary or Josiah? I think you have answered correctly. Josiah looks more successful. This guy is fancy. He's driving a fancy car. He looks like he's very successful on the outside. But who is really successful here? Josiah digs a ditch for himself by accumulating debt. Every month he has to borrow $150. But Mary saves $700 every month because she has decided to live a very simple life, and she's able to save that money and potentially being able to invest that money. So when I'm talking about living below your means, I'm talking about that illustration right there. Mary actually lives below her means, but Josiah is living above his means. He's borrowing to keep up with the Joneses. Now, in order for you to be able to live below your means, you must master the art of budgeting. What is a budget? It's a financial plan that determines how you spend your money over a definite period. Here at Purpose Money, we teach and encourage you to budget every month. And if I happen to be your personal coach, we have tools that we can give you to help you with the whole thing about budgeting. Now, with that, number one, when you are creating a budget, consider the following. Number one, decide that you're going to live below your means. This has to be a decision that you're making. You have to decide that I'm making this number of money, this amount of money, but I'm going to live below my means because I am going somewhere and I have to create wealth and I am responsible for that. I am not going to spend all the money that I make no matter what. So that's number one. Number two, pay yourself first. What does that mean? Decide how much money, usually a percentage of your income, I say maybe 20% minimum is recommended, and we're gonna learn more about that later on. But pay yourself first. You put aside that amount first. Now, if you're a person of faith, you wanna give tithe to God first, all that is good. But after that, you pay yourself first. You put a portion of your income aside first. First means first, before you do anything else. Before you pay all your bills, before you buy anything, you pay yourself first by putting at least 20%. And I'm gonna share with you later why 20%. Now, another thing, decide your priorities, what they are. These are must-haves. the things that you must do in your life. You have to decide what those are. For example, food, shelter, transportation. You decide what those must-haves are. Number 4, create a list of your expenses, starting with priorities first. So in this, you prioritize. Have a list of the things that you need to buy for that month. But those must-haves go first to the list, the priorities. So in this list, if you are giving to God maybe 10%, it goes first. Then paying myself first goes second. Then things like mortgage or rent comes there. Food follows next. And then gas for your car and things like that. And the list keeps on going. Now, you can eliminate or minimize things like movies, cable TV, shoppings that are not necessary, buying too much coffee and soda and stuff like that, depending on your budget. Number 5, create your budget, starting with the most important items on your priority list. You create that budget. You put money in front of every item and see how much money is needed. Trim your budget to fit the money you plan to spend only. So that's how you live below your means. Because you are saving, you're paying yourself first, then everything else has to fit in the money that's left. That is how Mary is able to put away $700, although she only makes $3,000, while Josiah, who is making $5,000, cannot save a penny. It is about being intentional and wanting to create wealth for yourself. And nobody can do it for you. You gotta do it. And you don't need to impress anyone. You need to live your life with your goals so you can be able to reach there. So how to live below your means? What are the practical things you can do to live below your means? Living below your means doesn't necessarily mean that you must not enjoying your life, like you forfeit enjoying your life. That is not what I'm talking about. However, it may require that you find alternative ways of meeting your needs. We encourage you to live a realistic life according to your goals and not trying to impress anyone. Remember, it is better to be successful than to look successful. Living below your means may include not leaving your parents' house too early. If you have parents, if you're young and you're still living with your parents, you have a job, you have some income coming in. If your parents haven't kicked you out, stay for a good chunk of time. Why? Because that is an opportunity, is a golden opportunity for you to start building wealth for yourself. Now, I know you say, I want freedom, I'm tired of these old people, I want to have my own place, I want to enjoy my life, I want freedom, I get it. But living below your means that you find every way to save money. If you don't have to leave your home, stay. But also, if you cannot live with your parents, but for some reason you're able to live maybe with uncles and anybody else who allow you to stay with them for a period of time, do that. Don't be too proud of yourself. Don't be cocky. Don't be somebody who says, like, I gotta be by myself. I don't want to be with my parents or anybody else. That will not be good for you at some point. But if you're able to get an opportunity to be with other people, do that. Number 2, you can live with a roommate or roommates for a period of time, if that works for you. I know there are challenges with living with roommates, but you find a good roommate, somebody that you get along with very well, you guys can share the cost, and by doing that, you save money so you can have money to invest. Number 3, avoid expensive car loans. Some of the things that people think quickly after they start working is to get a fancy car. And sometimes you want to compete with your friends or your family members, and that is garbage. You don't want to do that. Make sure that you avoid expensive car loans. You want to make sure that you're getting a car that can take you to work. I'm not saying get a bad car, but I'm saying expensive car loans can be a problem for you. You want to avoid that. Number 4, avoid unnecessary shopping. If you don't have to shop for something, this especially ladies, that extra purse you want to buy, that extra pair of shoes, even guys too. Some people just want to buy a suit every month or whatever, or tennis shoes or whatever that you feel like you need, but they're not actually needs. Avoid unnecessary shopping because that is taking your wealth away. Also, number 5, avoid eating out and cook instead. A lot of people don't like to cook anymore. They eat out. And the food you eat out there is not healthy for you anyways. It's not good for you. You're creating other problems. I understand once in a while you can do that. But overall, cook your food. You got the stove, buy the stuff, cook the food. That's good for you health-wise, and you're saving a lot of money that you can use to create wealth. Number 6, avoid unnecessary house bills like cable TV, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, VUDU, HBO, Disney, etc. If you don't need all these things, some places I've seen somebody has all these. And why do you need all of them? You can have maybe one or none. Because some people have these subscription and memberships of things that they even never get to use. So unnecessary house bills, let them go. Just make sure you have the necessary ones because you're on a mission. You want to build wealth. Avoid unnecessary membership and club subscriptions. I've seen people, you have a gym membership, golf club, and that club, and the other club, and the other, and you have all these memberships. But this is the funny thing, you're not even using them. So avoid memberships that are not necessary. If you have membership to the gym, the most expensive gym in town, and you're not even going to work out, what is that for? And by the way, why do you need the most expensive gym in town if you're not wealthy? So be reasonable, cut your expenses so you can be able to create wealth. Number 8, avoid going out to clubs, movies, sports events, concerts, and all that if they are not necessary. You don't have to do those things. You don't have to impress anyone. I'm not saying cut at all, don't enjoy life. I'm just saying you have to stay on budget. Avoid unnecessary travel and vacations. That's number 9. If you don't have to go on a trip, don't go. The one thing I've learned about trips, every time you go on a trip, you spend money you didn't budget. So if you don't have to go on a trip, do not go. Stay. Now, I've seen people going on vacations every year just so they can have something to post on social media and impress their friends and peers and say, I went to Disneyland this time. I went to Las Vegas this time. I went here, I went there. You know, you don't have to do that to impress anyone. So if you can avoid unnecessary vacations and travels, do that and be able to save money because that is the money that can create you wealth. Now, I say this because everything is a balance, and you have to know your priorities and be able to prioritize well. So, the last point here, number 10, avoid excessive giving to charity or churches or to NGOs and whatever it is that you give to. Avoid excessive giving. Sometimes we give too much, more than we can afford to give. Make sure that you avoid that, because too much excessive giving can be a reason for you to be poor. So I'm gonna stop there. That's number 2. Step number 2, live below your means. You're on a mission to build wealth, to become financially free. Make sure that you live below your means. I hope that was helpful as you continue in this course, and make sure you read all the text that comes with this video, because in the text there's more information. This is just a summary, but make sure you read that as well, so you can be able to equip yourself with tools that you can use for this personal finance journey. That's it for step number 2. I am your coach, Amos Jackson, and I will see you in the next video.